Hello, it's me, Recky, together with
Carol.
And it's time for another reaction.
Yes.
And this one, was it suggested?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But one of the Texans that currently sends a lot of stuff to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Texas is
number one.
Yeah.
With that in that.
So
sense.
why we can learn more?
Yeah, and of course, Texas is definitely one of the biggest states in the United States, and it's even bigger than Sweden by far. If I'm going to be, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's really huge. So the video we're going to watch, it's the Day Tripper.
Yeah.
The channel is Day Tripper, Texas Revolution Road Trip. This is a full episode, so we got 24 minutes, almost 25 minutes to actually enjoy.
So pause, get you some drinks, some snacks, and then
do it. We got water.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
And water. We don't have any snacks here.
No.
We planned bad. This next time we're gonna have. Yeah, but I think you guys want to hear when we're eating chips and stuff. Yeah, that's not gonna work. No. I would definitely say nope, not watching that.
Oh, okay.
Of course, if you haven't checked out the Day Tripper yet, the link for the channel and of course the video we're gonna watch are located in our description. So go there and give them the support that they so much deserve. I'm really good at saying that. I kind of like my own voice too. You know that, right?
Yeah. You
like
much.
That's good English right there. Hopefully we're gonna learn a lot about Texas because we really are genuinely interested in a lot that is America.
Yeah, and we have said that if we ever come to America, Texas is the first place to go. So why not learn a bit?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, before we watch, if you haven't liked the video yet, please do. As an awesome way to support us. It's free, and we really appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Recky.
And I'm Carol.
That subscribe. I get you a little confused. And your boob is actually making me not flexible enough here. Okay. Let's go through the list. Thank you so much to our
supporters. Patreon, all tiers.
We got
membership.
Yeah, everything.
All tiers. GoFundMe, PayPalers, enablers, and the fantastic comments we get. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Amazing comments. We are spoiled.
Yeah, and the ultimate supporters on
membership. We actually have a list here. The reason why we can do it here is actually because we have the list in front of us. Yeah, exactly,
because you guys are crazy.
Yeah, we got Deja. Well, okay, you want to do it? No, you can do it. Deja. I just want to make it. I was messing with you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Deja, Walt, Dwayne, Dana, Troy, Robert, Matt, Lon, and Barbara.
Amazing list right there.
Thank you.
If you want to join them, click join to become a member or check out the coolest link ever. No, it's not. No. Never mind. Never mind, Recky.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Let's just move along.
Yeah, let's watch this because it's a long video.
It's a long video. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Revolution. Oh, okay. So it's the entire history, I think. Let's do this.
Did you change the overlay?
Yes, you are the only one that mistrusts everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Are you done, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this.
Sorry.
They say never ask a man if he's from Texas, because if he is, he'll tell you. And if he's not, why embarrass him by asking? Where does this Texas bravado come from? Why do Texans fly their flag so high and put it on practically everything? How does one state out of 50
What is that? In God we trust? Yeah. Oh, bighorns. Holy shit.
Carry with it so much pride, lore, and legend? Well, it's nothing new. It's a pride that was earned on the battlefields of the Texas Revolution, which is one of the greatest stories ever told.
Ooh.
It's a Texas Revolution road trip.
And one thing that is really cool, that each state actually has their own history and how they become a part of the United States.
Yeah.
And we're going to follow Texas. If you want us to check out other videos with your state, you got to let us know. Don't use in the links, though, but just tell me or us the name of the video, and we just copy paste it if you want to, or we just do Texas, and that will be the end of it. Your call. Let us know.
You're chatty today.
I'm chatty.
Come and take it.
Not cool.
The story of the Texas Revolution is one that stretches for hundreds of miles across Texas. It's a story told piece by piece at dozens of important historic sites. But to pull it all together into one Texas-sized saga, well, we're here at the Bob Bullock Museum.
Ooh.
Bob
In the
Bullock?
heart of Austin, just blocks from the Texas Capitol, sits the Bullock Texas State History Museum. The Bullock is Texas's flagship history museum, telling the ever-unfolding story of the Lone Star State and covering everything from our Native American roots to French shipwrecks to the oil booms and engineering feats that made modern Texas.
Oh, Houston. That's a one thing. Another, they have the Houston have a problem. That's in Texas. The
that's
NASA
right.
thing too.
That's
Holy
right.
shit! Tend to forget was actually in Texas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In the middle of that Texas timeline, starting in the 1820s, you'll find the story of the Texas Revolution, woven piece by piece into one narrative. And to take us through the timeline, here's Museum Director Margaret Cook.
So to understand the revolution, you have to understand kind of what came before that, right? Mexico has just won its independence from Spain. Everything is in turmoil. In the next 8 years, they would go through something like 4 different presidents. And if you look at the map, you can see how vast Mexico was. Main seat of government way down here in Mexico City. And the Texas state isn't just Texas, it's Texas and Coahuila, with its main governor down here in Saltillo.
A massive territory governed by a remote dictator. The match was set.
And in the southwest corner, showing off a popped collar, more medals than you can count, and an obvious comb-over, the uncrowned monarch, elected president, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. And in the northeast, wearing buckskin that would make even Jeremiah Johnson jealous, the father of Texas, impresario impresivo, Stephen Fuller Austin.
Oh, hey.
Tensions were high. So let's hit the Revolutionary Road with our first stop to Stephen F. Austin's booming colony west of modern-day Houston. Welcome to San Felipe de Austin. If you've never heard of it, well, I'm not surprised. There's not much to see of the original town. At the beginning of Texas, San Felipe was not only one of our largest cities, but also the unquestioned political, social, and economic center of Texas. Our first capital in every sense of the word.
This is a recreation of our very first Capitol building. Kind of cool.
Wow.
You look at the Capitol we have in Austin now and compare it to
I got to pause again because I'm getting goosebumps for the fight of independence for state per state per state.
Yeah.
I don't know how the other states actually had to fought for their independence. I know that the British was there colonizing the entire country, but I don't know if there was actually any kind of other fighting. Texas-Mexican War, of course, because Mexican, what we know now, actually owned a big chunk of Texas. Yeah, you said that in the beginning.
I understand.
So I'm getting really curious about how other states actually fought for independence, other than the British colonization.
this, you realize what humble roots Texas started from.
To give you the backstory, in the early 1820s, Austin received permission from Mexico to bring the first official settlers to Texas. And so he recruited 300 families. The old 300, we call them today. And with the promise of free land and endless opportunity, he led them to the frontier, choosing this site on the Brazos River as his headquarters.
Oh my God.
Virtually every person we know from Texas history came through San Felipe at some point. Under Austin's leadership, San Felipe flourished, a bustling riverfront community. But frontier life was hard. And to make it worse, a distant Mexican government seemed more interested in controlling the new colony than leading it.
Less than 50 years after the United States has just won its independence, Mexico's just won its independence. So all these seeds of independence are just stewing and sprouting.
Exactly. I think it's been in Texan DNA from the very beginning, because why do you start a new life? You might just be wanting new economic advantages based on the amount of land that you're being told is available.
Wow.
But you might be fleeing a murder charge, you might be fleeing a bad marriage, or like Moses Austin himself, you might be facing bankruptcy.
Okay.
So you set your sights on the next best thing. And that at this point in time becomes what we know today as Texas.
Wow.
She just summarized many of the famous Texans we all know. They were not a perfect or proper bunch by any means. They had dark pasts and plantation economics, many bringing slaves with them to Texas. Different groups of settlers had tried to rebel multiple times, only to be quashed by Mexico's powerful military. But this time, these hot-blooded Texans were ready to make a revolution stick.
Okay. So cool. Come and take it.
In the meantime, we've got all of these back and forth tensions coming between the Mexican army that is in place in what we know as Texas and the settlers who are there. And at the heart of one of these is this small cannon.
The famed Come and Take It cannon.
Well,
This
that's a
one in the
baby
bullet
cannon.
is a replica. But the real one sits down the road in the town of Gonzales inside the Gonzales Memorial Museum.
Whoa.
You may be asking, what's the story on this cannon? Well, allow me to grossly oversimplify.
It's so
General
small.
San...
Yeah, it's so small.
It's very small, but I'm pretty sure it will actually do the thing if it actually hits someone in the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was about to say something, but it completely dropped. It might come back. It might come back.
Okay.
Maybe? No.
Ana was sitting in his hacienda when the Texans came to ask for a favor.
Come on, no.
No.
And so Santa Anna loaned the Texans a cannon, but then, years later,
Wow.
Come and Take It wasn't written on a handkerchief, but on an old wedding dress. But it worked. And
Oh my
Wow.
days. Now I understand. I thought it was a huge, like a condom. It's actually a cannon. And they actually meant come and take it. Like this is, it feels like it's made up. It feels like it's over American, but that is America. And people tend to forget that. I
Yeah.
think many people, you and I, have learned a lot about America, and we've talked to a lot of you guys, so we know that it's not bull crap.
No.
It's actually true.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
they don't make this up. It's true.
Yeah.
They actually did this.
Yeah.
And this is something that we're gonna make a movie out of it, and other non-Americans says this is just bull crap. It's exaggerated, and it's just, but it never is.
No.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
And on October 2nd, 1835, this cannon fired the first shots of the Texas Revolution.
Wow.
I mean, this thing's not going to turn the tide of a war. Why do you think this cannon was so important to them?
It's a symbol of the Mexican government doesn't care about us. See, I told you, they're taking away the one defense that we have against American Indian attack. They've left us out here on our own. No way they're going to get this cannon back.
Right. Yeah. This is our stand right here.
It becomes a victory for the Texans, right? It emboldens them. But there are certainly much more difficult episodes ahead.
There was no turning back, and both sides knew it. And so Santa Anna himself, along with thousands of troops, set out for Texas, ready to clean up this little insurrection. 5 months after Gonzales, in March of 1836, a delegation of Texans met to up the ante in the town of Washington just outside of Brenham at what is now a state historic site. And here's Park Ranger Janice Campbell.
Welcome to Washington on the Brazos. We're the birthplace of Texas right here. Of course, it was here in March of 1836 that we had 59 gentlemen meet in a general convention. In 17 days, they signed a Declaration of Independence from Mexico. They framed a constitution, elected officers for the new government that was created right here in Washington.
Oh,
my gosh,
wow.
Wow. What are we looking at here?
This is a replica of Independence Hall.
This is hallowed ground, really, for Texans.
It should be thought of that way.
I just feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Independence Hall was nothing more than a wooden shack owned by a local blacksmith. It's not much to look at, but its importance goes way beyond its appearance.
We have one handwritten Declaration of Independence here in Texas, and of course it is housed in Austin in the State Archives building.
Over those long days, the delegation of Tejanos and Anglos shared their grievances and signed the Texas Declaration of Independence.
And I'm going to read you guys a couple of my favorite excerpts. It's a pretty powerful document. When a government All right, one second. When a government All right, this just doesn't feel right. Give me a sec. Yes, this is much better. When a government has ceased to protect the lives, liberty, and property of a people from whom its legitimate powers are derived, becomes an instrument in the hands of evil rulers for their oppression, it is the inherent and inalienable rights of the people to abolish such government, to create another in its stead, and to secure their welfare and happiness. We, therefore, the delegates, with plenary powers of the people of Texas, in solemn convention assembled, appealing to a candid world for the necessities of our condition, do hereby resolve and declare that our political connection with the Mexican nation has forever ended, and that the people of Texas do now constitute a free, sovereign, and independent republic.
They signed.
Wow.
I don't know why I got emotional too. The thing is, the evil rulers, they should be, kick the crap out of it.
And this,
Swedish.
Den här tanken,
the thought,
de här rena åsikterna som,
the pureness in this, I agree with you.
As it should be,
as
and
it should
today
be, for
it's
the
corruption
people,
and it's so much.
It says basically for the people,
exactly.
by the people, with the people,
exactly.
Instead of having the evil rulers,
exactly,
as Mexico was at this time.
And I think that's why I'm getting emotional, because it's
written by good people.
It's so pure, and
we talk about this over Recky's. I mean, this good people, and when good people come together, things happen.
Yeah. Wow. This is wow.
Signed the documents and sealed their fates. They knew that either Texas would win independence or they would die. And among the signers was the man who would eventually lead the charge, Sam Houston. However, any celebration was cut short, as down the road in San Antonio, the battle was already raging in what was the 13-day siege of the Alamo. The Battle of the Alamo is a story we all know well. A small group of soldiers who were greatly outnumbered, yet willingly sacrificed their lives.
Is this the movie? Is it a movie about this?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I recognize the
Alamo is like the last resort call. I like it. There's a scene in Saving Private Ryan where the last resort is the Alamo.
Oh, okay.
This is basically I don't know the story, but I'm bet your bottom dollar that there is a big ass movie about this, and pretty old ones too.
Alamo, I recognize that, but okay.
Lives for the dream of Texas. This is Alamo expert Bruce Winters.
We tell a story bigger than the battle. Battle is what most people think about, but we have a history as it being a Spanish mission.
Mission San Antonio de Valero, to be exact. One of 5 missions built in San Antonio. But after the mission period ended and the Spanish left Texas, well, the Mexicans turned the Alamo into a fort. And while most don't know it, there were actually 2 battles for the Alamo. The first, the Texans actually won. It was called the Siege of Bear.
Texans are in revolt, and so as rebels, they've got to capture something important. They capture San Antonio. So that's why Santa Anna comes back with soldiers. They have to take it back.
What had been the Texans' proud fortress became their prison. And for 13 days, around 200 brave men fended off Santa Anna's army. That is until the morning of March 6th before the dawn, when Mexican forces stormed the walls.
It's almost like taking a bowl, putting it in a sink full of water, pushing it down. All the water starts rushing in. The battle took about 90 minutes. Like I said, it's in the dark. We sometimes will have visitors who'll come here and say, I wish I was there.
No, you don't.
No.
Texas lost some of its best and bravest that day. And here on the grounds, all the stories we've heard since childhood become very real.
Down here on the ground, the line, Colonel William Barrett Travis drew this and he said, listen, if you're in, cross the line. But if you're not, I want you to leave. And of course, all but one stepped across the line and joined him to fight. This is the spot where we believe Davy Crockett died and faced his final struggle. There's just so much history right here in front of the Alamo. It's crazy.
And one of my favorite parts to ever...
Is this the Davy Crockett I sing?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That is.
Because I get so many comments that
it's
Davy
just
Crockett.
singing the wrong song.
Yeah, but I know that, guys.
No,
I know
it's the right song for the wrong
melody, but wrong lyrics. I know, guys.
We're just having some fun. That's it.
Every visit is reading Travis's famous letter.
All right, so this is a copy of Travis's letter written from the Alamo seeking support for his cause. To the people of Texas and all Americans in the world, I am besieged by 1,000 or more of the Mexicans in Santa Anna. I have sustained a continual bombardment for 24 hours and have not lost a man. Our flag still waves proudly from the walls. I shall never surrender or retreat. I call on you in the name of liberty and of patriotism and everything dear to the American character to come to our aid. I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forgets what is due to his own honor and that of his country, victory or death.
More than a building, the Alamo is a symbol of courage, even in the face of certain death, and of dying for something bigger than yourself. And while it may bring a wave of reverence and nostalgia today, well, it had a very different effect in 1836.
That battle was over in under an hour before daybreak. As the word gets out in the communities, everyone, of course, is not just devastated, they're angry. They didn't take any prisoners. They just executed everyone, burned their bodies. We're not going to let this go. But we're also pretty scared. People start packing up what belongings they can carry on their backs, in their wagons, and start fleeing.
This is what's known as the Runaway Scrape. When the once growing towns of San Felipe, Gonzales, and Washington were burned to the ground, leaving nothing behind for the Mexican army to plunder. But things were about to go from bad to much, much worse. You know, so many remember the Alamo, but too few remember Goliad. This is Presidio La Bahia. Today, the fort's walls stand as they did back in the 1700s. The Presidio has had a number of important roles in both Spanish, Mexican, and Texan history.
Crazy.
This cannon, believed to have been used by Colonel James Walker Fannin and his men during the Texas Revolution, was excavated from inside the Presidio walls in 1936. Wow. Piece of Texas history right there.
Yeah.
In the fight for Texas independence from Mexico, the Texian army took control of this Presidio. It was renamed Fort Defiance and came under the leadership of Colonel James W.
Defiance.
Fannin. After the fall of the Alamo, Fannin and his men attempted to retreat from La Bahia to join Sam Houston. However, they showed no signs of haste as they made a leisurely retreat across the prairie. But General Urrea and his Mexican troops were in hot pursuit and eventually caught up with Fannin and his men here on this field. While the outnumbered Texans fought hard and were able to hold position against a much larger army, many, including Fannin, were wounded in the fight. The long, drawn-out skirmish ended in a Texian surrender. Fannin and his surviving men were marched back to Presidio La Bahia to await their fate.
Not a good
For a
fate,
week, the men were held captive in this chapel, waiting patiently, but confident that if they just waited longer, they would be released. General Urrea did ask Santa Anna that the men be granted clemency. However, after suffering huge losses at the Alamo, Santa Anna was in no mood for mercy and ordered that all prisoners be executed. On Palm Sunday, March 27th, 1836, the men were placed into 3 columns and marched beyond the fort walls. Each column took its own direction from the Presidio, escorted on each side by a row of Mexican soldiers. The marching ceased, and from point-blank range, the Mexican soldiers opened fire on the unarmed Texians. The wounded men, including Colonel Fannin, were executed one by one here in this courtyard. Fannin was the last to die. After seeing all his men killed, the wounded Fannin was set in a chair. And as he awaited death, legend says he made 3 requests. That his personal belongings go to his family, that he be shot in the heart, not the face, and that he receive a Christian burial. Soldiers proceeded to take his belongings. They shot him in the face, and they burned his body. 342 men lost their life that day in the Goliad Massacre. That Palm Sunday was one of the darkest days in Texas history. All must have seemed lost.
Wow.
Unfortunate war. It's just crap.
Yeah.
There was no love between the Mexicans and the Texans whatsoever.
No.
No respect whatsoever.
No.
And just a token of how war can be completely shit. And I feel real bad now.
Yeah, me too.
I'm eager to find out how this actually ends.
Exactly.
But the other people that are key at this point are people like Sam Houston, who is leading this army, and we've got to make decisions about where to go to next.
I try to put myself into Houston's mind at the time, and he must have thought he was facing up against just impossible odds. He's just amassing any man with a gun who can march. I mean, did he think he was stepping into victory, or did he think he was making his valiant last stand?
I think he was just committed. Whatever was going to happen, they were either going to come out victorious, or they were going to make a final stand that was going to go down in history.
Yeah, right.
If Houston had a plan, well, he didn't tell anyone what it was. He simply marched east. That is, until he hit the fork in the road. So this is New Kentucky Park. It's the site of one of the most important moments of the Texas Revolution that nobody knows about. You see, as Houston led the Texian army and all the settlers in what's known as the Runaway Scrape, he reached this site and he had to make a decision. There were 2 roads. The road to the left was the road to Nacogdoches, which ultimately meant safety in Louisiana. The road to the right was the road to San Jacinto, to face Santa Anna and the Mexican army head on.
Oh, shit.
Houston hadn't told anybody what he was going to do. However, when he reached New Kentucky, without hesitation, he marched his men to the right. They cheered, and he crystallized the Texan spirit just like that.
Wow.
That happened right here. A simple turn to the left, and we may not have a Texas at all. The time has finally come to visit perhaps the most important piece of earth in Texas, the San Jacinto Battleground.
Last battle?
The place where Texas indisputably became Texas, independent and sovereign, now marked by the tallest monument in America. And what better place to start our exploration than up at the top?
Whew. Look at that view.
Oh,
We're
shit.
hundreds of feet above the San Jacinto battlefield.
Oh, wow.
Which gives you the best perspective of
This is wow. I'm saying wow.
That's really high up, too. That's the tallest one. Monument.
I would shivering
Is
in
that a
my bones.
battleship over there?
Yeah, I
I
see
think
something
so.
that.
Okay, that's more than okay.
Oh wow!
Packed with history.
And the decision to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like,
that could be an easy way out.
Yeah, no country, no
Texas state.
state.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the thing is that they didn't know his decision because they were just marching behind him. And they will. I wonder how they felt. Like
they cheered.
Yeah, they cheered. Yeah, before he actually took the bath.
Yeah.
How did they feel? What did they think about? And then when they actually turned left, they realized we're gonna go and try to beat the crap out of the Mexicans and reclaim Texas as independence.
Brave.
Yes. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Of the final battle of the Texas Revolution.
It had been a hard few months for the Texans. Since the first shots were fired in Gonzales, the Texans had declared independence at Washington on the Brazos and suffered terrible losses at both the Alamo and Goliad. The powerful Mexican army now marched across Texas, sending settlers running in fear and burning their possessions in what's now known as the Runaway Scrape. However, instead of running to safety in Louisiana, Houston turned his army south to face Santa Anna head-on at San Jacinto. Today, visitors see a battleship, a monument, and a state park. But of course, in April of 1836, none of it was there. The Texian army, numbering 900...
It said battleship. Was it that one we saw?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, take back battleship Texas.
Yes. Are you correct? There was a battleship. So what the heck? That came out of nowhere. Like, here you go. That's a battleship for you.
Of course, in April of 1836, none of it was there. The Texian army, numbering 900 men, camped west near Buffalo Bayou. Across the field...
No, they didn't
No, it was now, not then.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
mile away, camped the Mexican army, believing they had the Texans cornered. On April 20th, a small skirmish left 2 Texans wounded. And that same evening, 500 additional soldiers under General Cos joined the Mexican camp. Santa Anna, confident the Texans would never strike his superior numbers, put no soldiers on watch. It would be his fatal mistake.
Yeah.
At 3...
Underestimate is the
never.
baddest thing you can do. That's the crappiest
30 in the
thing.
afternoon on April 21st, obscured by trees and a small hill, the Texian army assembled. With rifles ready, they charged. The unexpected onslaught sent the Mexican army into a panic. The next few minutes were a storm of rifle fire and hand-to-hand combat as Texans overwhelmed the Mexican side, shouting, "Remember the Alamo," and "Remember Goliad."
Wow, I'm getting
In a
chills.
mere 18 minutes, the battle was over.
What?
630 Mexicans lay dead, and only 9 Texans. One of the most decisive...
I'm sorry, I just freaked. How the heck can they killed over 600?
Did they sleep and just...
They were not ready for this. This is just a big token of underappreciation where they think that they're not going to do anything. Come on. Just go to bed and get barbecue.
Exactly. They underestimate.
Decisive victories in military history.
Wow. Decisive. Very decisive.
Wow. The grounds are covered with markers and stones fixed at locations critical to the battle.
So this stone engraving marks the spot where President Santa Anna surrendered to General Sam Houston, putting the final stamp on Texas's independence. Makes you feel very proud standing here.
One battle ended a revolution that had been boiling for years. A people struggling for their independence finally had.
Okay, Texas declared her independence at Washington on the Brazos March 2nd. For nearly 2 months, her armies met disaster and defeat. Dr. James Grant's men were killed on the Agua Dulce March 2nd. William Barrett Travis and his men sacrificed their lives at the Alamo March 6th. William Ward was defeated at Refugio March 14. Amon B. King's men were executed near Refugio March 16. And James Walker Fannin and his army were put to death near Goliad March 27, 1836.
Had it.
Wow. That's some
While this
kick-ass
would be
history.
a great place to tie a pretty bow on this epic tale, well, Texas's story was far from over. You see, boiling blood can fuel a revolution, but it's not good for governing, and many battles still laid ahead.
They have to answer a bunch of questions. How are they going to manage all those land grants? How are we going to pay for our debts? Who gets to be a citizen? They've got a significant number of enslaved people. Still got a huge population from numerous different tribes, but in particular the Comanches, that also have a hold on this land we now call Texas.
How do we manage the continuing threat of Mexico? And would it ever be possible to join the United States? A question that would be answered in 1845 when Texas became the 28th state admitted into the United States of America. And while the actual Republic of Texas may have only lasted 9 years, the spirit of independence lives on. It's something that's breathed into every Texan from the moment they set foot on Texas soil, whether by birth or by relocation. We know we're proud, and sometimes a bit too loud, but we can't help it. We've been shouting ever since the battlefields of San Jacinto, and we won't be quiet now.
Wow.
So, hey, you want to take this or should I? Okay, I'll do it. I'll see all y'all out on the road. Vaya con Dios, amigos.
Aha! We won! Oh, we won!
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I gotta tell you, that was an amazing story. And the one thing it says that they were only independent for 9 years.
Yeah.
But they decided to actually join the United States. And that is an amazing. I loved every second of this.
Me too.
I was actually glued into my seat.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard to pause it because you just want to move on and actually find out what happened in the end.
Exactly. It's like watching a exciting video,
a
movie.
Yeah. And this should be like a blockbuster, like a really mega. But maybe there is.
We need to check it out.
We didn't find it. So,
but now I get that the Texans are proud people. I get it.
Yes.
I mean,
and I would be too. And
yeah, exactly.
I say it before. I say it again. America is a young nation, packed to the brim of an amazing history.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up because it's a long video here.
Exactly.
If it's still here, why don't you tell us? Of course,
yeah.
Recky and Carol, I'm still here. We would greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
And if you did enjoy, don't forget to smack the like and, of course, hit that subscribe. We would greatly appreciate that, too. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I'm Recky.
And I'm Carol.
You.
Stay safe.